Hello everyone. Today I am going to demonstrate how to deploy Springboot application to AWS Cloud. So here we will be using the AWS service, that is EC2. So first let us create a Springboot application and then we will deploy that application to AWS EC2 service. Okay. So now let's go to spring.io, Spring Initializer, that is Spring Initializer. So here we will generate our starting generate our application. So here the language should be Java and the project will be Maven, and the Spring Boot latest version is 3.3.3, and we are using this version because this is the latest version. And all here you can see here the snapshot means that the version is in development, so we will be using this version. Okay, now we will, so here group means the company name. So for example, I am going to create an application and it will add two numbers. So let us create an test application. Okay, test application. The artifact id will be the id which will be shown in the folder name will be the artifact name. Okay, so now name will be addition. Okay, now the packaging will be jar. Two types of packaging, but we are using the packaging that is jar, and the Java version that we are using this is 17. Okay, now we will add the dependencies. First dependency will be the Spring Web dependency to run our application on Tomcat server. So this uses the Apache Tomcat embedded container default. So it will be the default server. And next is the dev-tools dependency. This we are using to live reload, means when we are running the application and making changes, so that the application automatically restarts and reload, so that our time will be saved. Okay, now let's generate. See, the application has been downloaded, so we will go to the file explorer. Now let's go to download and see, here we will extract the zip file. Okay, so we will extract here. Now this is the extracted folder. Now we will go to our Eclipse. Now we will go to file and we will import that folder. We will select existing Maven project and we will next, and the root directory we will go to browse and we will browse where that our folder is located. See, this is our folder and we will select that, and here the pom.xml will be will be there, and it will download the dependencies. We have added two dependencies, so it will download. Okay, now let's finish. See, here you can see here right bottom corner, here importing Maven projects, and the dependencies will be downloaded. Okay, now let's see this. Our code will be in src main java. Okay, now let's open this, and this is the default package, and here one java file will be there. This file is necessary to run the Tomcat server. Okay, now let's create a package control. Now let's create a controller package. We will create a new, and then we will create a package, and the package name will be controller. Okay, now let's finish this, and in that controller we will create a class file of name addition. Okay, now see, the file is there inside controller. Okay, now here we will create a method. So now we will create a method name addition of two numbers. Okay, the return type will be int. Okay, and it will return num1. We will declare it later, num1 plus num2. Okay, now here we will request param. We will be using the request param to get the parameter request param in num1 and another that is num2. Okay, now we will declare the rest controller, because we want to declare this class as the controller, so that the Spring Boot application should know that this is the entry point rest controller. And we will be using request mapping at the rate annotation request mapping, and we will specify the API, and here we will write the post mapping, because we want to we want two parameters. So let's here API name will be add. Okay, now let's save this file, and we are going to run this application. Addition.java. Okay, now let's run this as the maven build, and we will here write here clean, and here we will write Spring Boot run. This is the command to run the Spring Boot application. So your application is running. Let's see, is there any error in our application? See, your application has started. So here you can see the logs. It is saying that the Tomcat started on port 8080. Now let's check in the Postman. Okay, so we will start the Postman, and we will use the local host, and port will be 8080 URL. So we will wait for the Postman to start. Okay, the Postman has started. Okay, now the request will be here post. Now select the post and enter the URL, that is localhost 8080 slash API slash add. Okay, now the parameters will be num1, so okay 10, and num2 value will be 10. Okay, 20. Okay, 20. Now we will send this, and let's see any output we are getting. See, we are getting the output that is 30, so it is working fine. Okay, now let's stop the application, and we will create a jar file out of it. So here right click and run as maven build, and in the goals we will write clean. This is the first command, and the second command is package. So we will get a jar in the target folder. So now run. So now the packaging will be happen, and we will get the jar file in the target folder. Now let's locate which will be the where will be our. So this is the addition folder. Now let's see the target folder, and here jar file is generated or not. Here jar file will be generating now. See, the jar file has been generated. Jar file has been generated. As you can see, jar file has been generated. Okay, now let's create an EC2 instance in AWS. Okay, so I am writing here AWS console, and I am going to log into my AWS account. Okay, so here sign in. So automatically, because my credentials was already there, so I have into my AWS account. So here I will select the EC2. There are many services, but I am preferring to use EC2. You can also use Elastic Beanstalk. So here you can see instances running, auto scaling capacity. Okay, so now here we will create an EC2 instance. So here click this launch instance. Here our location is Mumbai, because this is very near to us and it will be fast. Okay, now here I am going to give the name to the server, September 24. So okay, and here I am going to choose Amazon Linux, and here many are available and we are using the free tier, so I'm using this Amazon Linux 2 AMI for this. Now the instance type. So there are many instance type, but I am going to use one CPU and 1 GB memory. So T2.micro, this will be my default, and I have to create a key pair. See here, you have to create a key pair so that only this PC can log into the EC2 instance. So I will create here, and I will name the key pair as September 24 key pair. Okay, now the key pair type RSA, it will be default, and this will be a private keys, and we will be using to get into the EC2 instance, and the type will be .pem. We will be using the SSH protocol to access the EC2 instance. Now we will click the create key pair, and the key has been downloaded to our downloads folder. Okay, now this will be default, we don't have to do anything. And this allow SSH traffic 0.0.0, it means that anywhere from means internet we can access. Okay, now the configuration type is we don't have to do anything. Now let us launch an instance. Okay, so it is creating security group rules, and our instance has launched. Now go to the dashboard and instance running. So our instance has been running, and we can check box here, and we will get the details of the instance, and this is our IP address. Okay, this is our IP address. So we will be using the software that is mobaxterm to access the EC2 instance. I have downloaded the mobaxterm. I will going to start the mobaxterm, clicking the .exe file, and I have some notes, means commands to access our Linux of EC2. So I'm opening that file. So this will be helpful. We don't have to manually type the command and to remember. So let's access our EC2 terminal. Okay. Now the command to access the EC2 instance in mobaxterm is C. This is the command. This is the command, and this is the example. Okay. So this is the command. We have to paste the path of key pair and EC2 instance. Okay. Here IP address will be there. So our what is our IP address? Our IP address is this. So we will copy this, and we will paste here IP address. I have pasted, and here the path of the key pair, it is telling the path of key pair. Okay, now where is our key pair located? 9 downloads. See, this is, so we have to copy the path, copy as path. Okay, now let's paste here path of key pair. Okay, now let's just remove this and slash, we're going to change the slash. Okay, now see, SSH stands for secure shell, and it is used to access the, means it is just like a protocol that is HTTP, so it helps to access the different machines. So we will copy this and we will be pasting here and see we are connecting to our instance or not. We will wait for the result. The command has been, see, we have accessed our EC2 instance and it is running. Okay, now the second step is we have to copy the jar file into the EC2 machine. Okay, now this is the, so we should also install Java in it. Okay, we have selected Java version 17, so we will run this command to install Java in our EC2 instance. So I'm copying this command and I'm pasting here so that Java will be installed, and make sure here sudo will be there, because sudo is used when we want a root access. Here I will write y because I want to download Java in this EC2 instance. Now see, Java has been installed here. I will start a new local terminal. This is our EC2 instance. Okay, this terminal is in, we are accessing to EC2 instance. Okay, now I am starting a local terminal because I want to copy. See, and now see what I have written here. Note, I am going to open a new terminal and I am going to inside target folder of our jar file. Okay, so now let's write cd, and what is our target folder, where is our, so we will go to file explorer, and here we will go, and where is the target folder? Here. Okay, now let's copy the path. I have copied the path. Now let's paste this here, and this remove this. Okay, now so we are in the target folder. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to copy, see, SCP stands for secure copy, secure copying. Okay, secure copying. Okay, now I have the command. So what is the command? Path of key pair. We have to insert the path of key pair, and what is the jar file name and IP address. Okay, so first I will paste the IP address from the AWS. See, I'm pasting. So I'm pasting here the IP address. Okay, I have pasted the IP address. Now I am pasting the jar file name. Okay, what is the jar file name? We'll go to target folder, and jar file name is this. Test. I think it has started the jar file. Jar file has been executed in the local terminal. Okay, now let's copy as path. Oh, let's rename this, and we will copy whole name. Okay, now we will start. Okay, here we will paste the jar file name. Okay, and then path of key pair. So here our path of key pair. Path of key pair. Now I'm copying pasting it from here only. Okay, now this is our command. Okay, now I will go to the mobaxterm and then type here our command. Now I will run this command. See, I have copied the jar file to EC2 instance. Okay, now let's go to EC2 instance to run. So for running the EC2 instance, this is the command. So I will write jar file name here. So what is jar file name, or what is our jar file name? Jar file name. So what is jar file name? Our jar file name is, this is our jar file name. So I'm pasting here. See, I'm copying this command to run Java our Springboot application in this. Okay, now pasting this command here and see we are able to achieve this or not. Okay, see, the application started on Tomcat port 8080. Now let's try to access this application from Postman. Okay, so see, this is our URL, but I have to change the local host because we are trying to access the EC2 instance. So instead of localhost, I will give the IP address. So I have copied and I am going to paste here the IP address. Okay, now let's try to access. See, the request has been sending, but it will not be accessed because we have to change some rules. See, in the AWS we have the security groups, and there are inbound rules and outbound rules. Okay, so we can here inbound rules. Okay, and we have to add some rules because from outside, if we want to access, we have to add some rules. Okay, okay, see, the rule here port is 2020. We have to add 8080 if we want to access. Okay, and the outbound rules, this is the outbound rules, and we have to edit the inbound rules. See, we will add inbound rule, so we will add here add custom TCP, and port is 8080, and here it will be custom, and it will be 0000 because we want to access. So we will add this rule. We are accessing this EC2 instance because if by default there is SSH rule added. Okay, now we will add. So we will save the rules. Now let's check again. We will send the request. Now let's check. We are trying to access. See, we have accessed the application. Okay, now the result is 30. We have accessed. But see, if I control C, and now try to access, see, the process has ended, but we want to access that process if there is control, if we do control C also. So we have to run the application in backend. Okay, so for this we have to make another command. See, this is the command to run our application in backend. Okay, so here we have to give the jar file name. Okay, now I will copy this jar file name. Okay, okay, I have copied the jar file name. I'm pasting here the jar file name. Now let's copy this command to run the application in backend. Okay, so I have copy pasted. Now let's try to run. What is the problem? Now have Java jar addition. Try to access. See, we are able to access that the application has been running in backend. Application is running. Now I'm writing. Now I'm Control C. See, this has exited. If you want to know in on which port the process has been started, so we can try. We have commands like if you want to specifically find, let's see which process is running in this port. So let's check this command. See there are this process is running in 80 port 8080 and the PID is 7407. Okay, and if you want to kill this process, so what is the command? See, this is the command. So let's paste here, and the PID process ID, what is the PID? This will be the PID 7047. Okay, now let's try to write this 7047. See, process has been killed. Now let's check any process is running or not. See, no process is running. Okay, so we have seen how to deploy our Spring Boot application on EC2 instance. Now we will close the instance. So we have to write the command that is exit if you want to close the instance. So I'm exiting from the EC2 instance. Okay, okay, and now see, remember to terminate the EC2 instance, otherwise it will cost you. Okay, so now we will go to the EC2 dashboard and we will go to instance running and we will go to instance state. No, first we will click the checkbox here and then with this option will be enabled. Okay, instance state. Okay, now let's terminate this instance. Okay, so now the instance has been terminated. See, it is showing that instance has been running. It will take some time to show here 0 because it is processing in the backend. In 5 to 10 minutes you can see here the instance running will be 0. Okay, this is a demonstration of how to deploy a Spring Boot application to EC2 instance. So what are the steps? We created the jar file and we have installed the Java in the EC2 instance and we have run the jar file in the EC2 instance. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Thank you.